Alright, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm going to be showing you guys another experiment, and basically this experiment will determine who the best short course swimmer is in the world today. And so whenever I think about this question, a couple names come to mind. Obviously the guy in the picture on the right, Leon Marchand, breaking a bunch of NCAA records, not American records, because he's French. Other swimmers like Kate Douglas, Caeleb Dressel, obviously in the past. You can also throw in like Ryan Hoffer. He was a really dominant short course swimmer. Katika Hosu, another international swimmer of the past. And so yeah, there's a ton of names that can go down the list. So I'm going to be using this My League Simulator game to determine who is the best short course swimmer. And obviously I'm going to be using only active swimmers, so any swimmers that have retired already are not going to be included in the mix. So these are the settings I'm going to be using. I'm going to turn off all the fatigue and recovery settings. Simulation difficulty, that's normal. No trades or anything. Short course yards, obviously. I'm going to turn on draft classes off, just so every swimmer in the world is capable of entering this league. So someone like Leon Marchand, who's in the NCAA, and Alex Walsh as well, or other names that I'm trying to think of. Even like the swimmers are not even in NCAA, like Katie Grimes or Bella Sims. All those names will be in the mix, obviously except for the retired swimmers. And yes, so let's start the simulation and let's see how this experiment goes. All right, so now we're at the start of the season. So let's see what some of the rosters look like. So Sarah Sjostrom is probably going to be one of the biggest threats to that top swimmer in the world. Shimanovic is also solid in breaststroke. Klesnikov, Chad Clos. And he has a ton of names. Still, Florian Manady is going to be solid. Coleman Stewart's a really good short course swimmer, along with Beta Nelson, and Dressel and King. And to keep looking down through all the names, Abby White's solid in the short course, with Tom Shield as well, and Duncan Scott, Emma Mckeon. So there's going to be a lot of really good names in here. So Kate Campbell is a solid sprinter, and Summer McIntosh also has solid short course times. Let's see if there's anyone else on this list. Chase Kalish is also going to be solid. Ryan Hoffer, who I said was going to be a solid threat. And then you also kind of look at some of the draft class names like Drew Kibler, Shane Cassis, Bobby Fink, Kieran Smith, Matt Sate. There's a lot of really good names here. And Mckeon as well, Schoonmaker, Katie Ledecky, Nathan Adrian, Alex Walsh, Taylor Ruck, Izzy Ivy, Grant House, Carson Foster, Jake Foster, Glasgow, Orlando. There's a lot of really good names. Brendan Burns, a really good short course swimmer. Malia Callaghan, Meg Harris, Bjorn Seeliger as well, who I missed. You also have Mila Tite, who's I don't think has ever shown yards before. Noah Ponte as well. Jordan Crooks as well. Leon Marchand. Really a lot of good names here. McSherry, Albiero, Gretchen Walsh, Josh Leando, Katie Grimes, Bella Sims, Kurzan, and Husk. And I mean, yeah, the list basically goes on and on and on. And yeah, so basically they're all going to be competing against each other. So it'll be really interesting to see who comes out on top. Alright, so now let's simulate to about the halfway point of the match, or halfway point of the calendar actually, and which is about 10 weeks in. So basically all up to the All-Star draft, and we'll see what the 10 week stats look like. Okay, so now I just made it to the halfway point of the season, and looking at the points per match leading scores, Kate Douglas is 58.01 points per match, so she's actually the leading scorer here. And let's take a look at her numbers. Solid 50 freestyle, basically almost undefeated. 200 breaststroke, which is kind of a weird combo, 50 free, 2 breast. So really dominant in those events. Also the 100 fly and 2 IM. So very versatile. And then Caeleb Dressel is the second leading scorer and the top leading scorer for the men's side. 9, and in the 50 free, 100 free. Also solid in the 100 breast. He goes like 50 point in the 100 breast and 42.8 in the 100 fly. Surprisingly lost one, or it wasn't perfect in the 100 fly. So we'll see what happened there. Shane Cassis was the second leading scorer for the men's side, 48.1, tied with Mira Belmonte. And then Leon Marchand, the third leading scorer. And then Alex Walsh, Gretchen Walsh, Reagan Smith, Sarah Sjostrom, Bella Sims, Chad Clos, Claire Kurzan, and then Katie Ledecky, I think is like the top distance swimmer here. with McIntosh as a I don't know if I really consider her as a distance swimmer, more of the middle distance, I guess. But second leading scorer there, and then McNeil, Daiya Seto, Mckeon, Josh Lando, Tori Huss, Ryan Held, Orlando, Erica Brown. So a lot of really good NCAA swimmers in here, and a couple of international swimmers that never swim in the NCAA, like Rila, Klesnikov, Mckeon, Sjostrom. So yeah, a lot of really stars of the talent here, and a lot of really good short course swimmers as well. Ryan Hoffer, who I said was high on, only 36, so maybe not as good as I thought I was hyping him up for. Caeleb Mckeon was here. Kateka Hosu, 27th, and that's solid for him. Carson Foster, more known as a long course swimmer. So yeah, there's a lot of really good names here. Jordan Crooks kind of fell to 38th, only 25.9. Kind of disappointing considering he goes like 17.9 to 50 free. And he is a really solid 100 free, 100 fly as well. There's Bobby Fink. I think Bobby Fink might be the top distance swimmer here. 25 points, basically undefeated in the 100,000 freestyle, 1650. Looks like he lost. So yes, yeah, a lot of really good names in here. And then looking at the total event wins, so basically every time they win an event, it gets tallied up. So 78 wins for Caeleb Dressel, and undefeated in the 50 free, undefeated in the 100 free. Lost one match in the 100 fly. Oh, he also has a really good 2 IM. Lost only 3 matches in the 200 IM. I think he's like the second fastest American in the 200 IM. 100 breaststroke as well. Kate Douglas with 73 wins here. Lost 150 freestyle. Lost 1 200 breaststroke. Undefeated in the 2 IM. So obviously there's 10 matches, and he obviously won. She obviously won 10 matches. Gretchen Walsh undefeated in the 100 freestyle. And then with 66 wins, really solid numbers across the board for her. Sjostrom was 61 wins. Josh Lando 53, Mckeon, and then Brown, Clos, Manuel, McNeil, Weitzel, all the common names here. And then Leon Marchand only 43 wins. I'm surprised to see him that low. Undefeated in the 200 breaststroke, undefeated in the 2 IM. 400 IM, surprisingly lost a couple matches. I mean, he's the only one that goes under 330, so I'm surprised to see him not win every single 200 IM. 500 free, not the fastest time overall, but he did win 5 matches there. And yeah, so those are the rest of the names here. There's Bjorn Seeliger as well, who's a really good short course swimmer as well. And yeah, so those are the top swimmers right there. And then looking at the participants for the All-Star match, which is basically just the top 30 female swimmers and top 30 male swimmers. Kate Douglas and Dressel are the 2 captains here, with Walsh, Belmonte, Reagan Smith, McNeil, all the names I kind of just mentioned here. And then on the men's side, we have Dressel, Clos, Cassis, Marchand, Klesnikov. And I'll just kind of show you. I'll just go down the list and see all the names here and see if there's like any other surprises here. Brooks Curry made it. He's a good short course swimmer. And Sjostrom was kind of surprisingly down low. Not really in that contention there. Bella Sims made it, the 17-year-old. Or maybe 18, I have no idea. And then Pergroda, Tommy Neal, Kamenova, Shanna Jack, Fernando Scheffer, and Schumacher. So those are like some of the big names on there. So now I'm going to simulate to the end of the regular season, and we'll see if anything changes. Alright, so I'm actually going to show you guys the All-Star match between Douglas and Team Dressel. So I'm actually going to simulate this entire match, and Team Douglas ends up winning the match. So it was actually not that close of a match, 352 to 316, and Caeleb Dressel was the All-Star MVP actually with 40.25 points per match. So let's take a look at some of the results of this match. Starting with the 1500, Katie Ledecky wins it 1528.7, and there wasn't really that much competition with Belmonte, Garcia, and Lee Benji. Bobby Fink wins the 1650 at 1429. Not much competition there with Felix Abach getting second. And then 200 free, Kia Melverson winning with a 141.7. Tom Dean wins a 2 free and 131.8. This is actually a stacked field here with Marchand, Chalmers, Shane Cassis, and Chad Clos. Then Schumacher wins the 100 breast in 57.3. Surprisingly, Willie King wasn't here. I guess she didn't make the All-Star team. And then 100 breaststroke, Dressel wins it in 50.7, beating Shemanovich and Pergroda. Surprised PD's also not there here too. Gretchen Walsh wins 100 backstroke in 49.3, beating Burkhoff, Smith, and Curzan. A lot of Americans in there too. 100 backstroke, Orlando wins in 44.4, the American record holder, beating out Klesnikov and Murphy. And then 2 fly, Belmonte wins it in 131.2, beating Hansen, Walsh, and Matty Groves. And then 2 fly, we have Milak, Seto, Cassis in this field. Milak wins in 139.7. Sjostrom wins the 50 freestyle in 21.2, beating McNeil and Douglas, and Gretchen Walsh as well. This is actually a really stacked field here too, with Weitzel, Mckeon, and Walsh in there too. And it was only a .2 difference between the field. And then 50 free, we have, this is also another stacked field with Dressel, Crooks, Seeliger, Leando, Manadou, and Chalmers, with Dressel winning at 18.2, so not quite off the sub 18 time. And then relays, we don't really know that much about it, but 114.8 is pretty fast for a relay. And then Belmonte wins the 4IM in 4.006, beating Walsh and Ledecky, and McIntosh and Hosu. And then 4IM on the men's side, Marchand actually loses, so it was actually Daiya Seto in 3:38.6, beating Marchand, which is a little bit way off his time, like 10 seconds off his best time, but I mean, it's not much. It's not that bad. And then 100 fly, we have Sjostrom, Douglas, Tori Huss, McNeil, Gretchen Walsh, and Erica Brown, with Sjostrom winning it 49.6, Douglas in second, 49.7. 100 fly on the men's side, Dressel wins it in 43.2, beating Clos and Held, and Milak. 200 breaststroke, we have Schumacher, Douglas, and Walsh. Schumacher takes the win there in 2:03.8. 200 breaststroke, we have Marchand winning with 148.3 over Seto and Pagoda. 200 backstroke, we have Clark Curzan winning with 150.06 over Nelson and Reagan Smith, and Mckeon and McIntosh. So that's a really good win for her. Ryan Murphy wins 2 back on 137.1 over Lasko and Relov. And then 1,000 freestyle, we have Ledecky winning at 921.6 over Belmonte and Lee Benji. And then I think that's actually it might have been a glitch there, but that 722 might be like an insanely thing. So we're just gonna ignore that. And then Bobby Fink actually won the event in 843.8 over Felix Zabok. And then Sjostrom wins 100 freestyle in 45.9 over Mckeon, Manuel, and Gretchen Walsh. And then 100 free, Josh Leando beats Caeleb Dressel by .09, and Chalmers as well. And then 2IM, we have Tori Huss beating Walsh and Douglas, so that's a bit of an upset there. And then 200 IM, we have Marchand winning at 138.9 over Cassis, Orlando, Clos, and Dressel. And then 500 free, the last event, individual event. Belmonte wins it over Benji and Ledecky and McIntosh. And then on the men's side, okay, those are some more glitches, so I gotta fix those times there. But Marchand is the real winner here with 413.5 over Tom Neal and Tom Dean. So yeah, just ignore those weird times there. And then the relays are nothing really special there. So yeah, so those are the All-Star matches. And so now I'm going to simulate to the end of the regular season, and we'll see what happens there. And at the end of the season, Kate Douglas wins the MVP for the Kansas Blue Jays, averaging almost 56 points, and 16 match MVPs. Caeleb Dressel for the Michigan Marlins gets almost 55 points with 18 match MVPs. And the Michigan Marlins went 18-1, and top there the team of the year. And then looking at the all NSL teams, we have Kate Douglas on the A team with Gretchen Walsh, her teammate, Belmonte, and Reagan Smith. And on the men's side, we have Dressel, Cassis, Clos, and Marchand. And on the B relay, we have McNeil, Curzan, Sjostrom, and Alex Walsh, followed by Leando, Klesnikov, Held, and Seto. And on the C team, we have Erica Brown, Emma Mckeon, Katie Ledecky, and Beta Nelson, along with Relov, Pagoda, Destin Lasko, and Tommy Neal. So if you kind of take a look at these NSL teams, these are essentially like the MVP standings. So basically, Dressel and Douglas are basically the two best swimmers in the league. And then Shane Cassis was like the runner-up MVP, along with Gretchen Walsh on the female side. Then Belmonte and Reagan Smith. And then Clos and Marchand finished third and fourth, respectively. So this is what the playoff bracket looks like. Doesn't look, nothing really stands out, essentially. But yeah, I'm just going to simulate this entire playoffs match, and we'll see who gets the finals MVP of this match. And at the end, Michigan Marlins win the championship over the Tennessee Blazers. And Caeleb Dressel wins finals MVP with 50.25 points. And then looking at the box scores of that finals, we have Caeleb Dressel leading the way with 50.2 points. And then Mckeon, Hosu and Lasco, and just kind of looking at some of the times that they put up: 18:07 for Dressel, 40.3 in 100 free, 50.5 in 100 breast, and 42.5 in 100 fly, and also swam the 2 fly and the 2 IM and the 4 IM, which is kind of odd. But Caeleb Mckeon went 49.9 100 back, 148.3 in the 2 back, and 207 in the 2 breast, and 150.2 in the 2 IM. And then Hosu had herself a solid swims, 150.7 in the 2 fly, 152.7, and 401.3 in the 4 IM. And Lasco 44.3 in the 100 back, 135.8 in the 2 back. It's pretty close to the American record right there. And Bobby Fink went 8:31, 14:22 in the 1650 and the 1000 free, and 4:14 in the 400 and the 500 free. And let's see if there's any other interesting swims. Vlad Morozov 18.9, 41.2. Coleman Stewart went 43.3 in 100 back. So I think that's actually very close to Luca Orlando's record. Titmus went 431.2 in the 500, 140.5 in the 2 free. Duncan Scott, not that fast in the 2 free, 133.5 and 408.4. Could be faster. Schumacher 56.7, 202.7 in the 100 and 200 breaststroke. And see if there's any other slams. Ruta Miletite 56.36 in the 100 breast. Florent Manadou 18.3, 41.1 in 100 and 50 free. And yeah, those are some of the most impressive swims there. And then looking at some of the final stats of the entire season, Kate Douglas is the league leading points per match scorer with 55.9 points per match, with Dressel actually very close, 54.4, and Shane Cassis, Liam Marchand, Belmonte, Alex Walsh, all respectively close. Alex and Gresham, and Sjostrom, Reagan Smith, Clark Erzan, and Katie Ledecky. So now I'm going to take a look at the event wins and see who basically had the most event wins. Caeleb Dressel, I think was the league leading and event wins, but 152, and then Douglas had 129, and then Dressel was undefeated in the 50 and 100 free. Lost some in the 100. Was actually really good in 100 breast, 17 out of 19 wins. And Douglas did lose 2 matches, so not fully undefeated, but I think the 2 IM was her best event. Sjostrom was pretty vulnerable in the 50 free. I thought she would be like the runaway in the 50 free, and 100 fly as well. And Josh Leando was actually solid as well. Gretchen Walsh as well, and Mckeon, Chadwick Clos. So yeah. And then now I'm gonna take a look at some of the event breakdown. So let's take a look at like the 50 freestyle. Who had the most points in the 50 freestyle? Dressel, Jordan Crooks, Cassie Wasik, and Gretchen Walsh. Kate Douglas, 100 free. Let's see who's leading that. Dressel, Chalmers, Lando, and Simone Manuel with solid numbers as well. 2 free, we have Sjostrom, Melverton, Grant House, and then Blake Peroni, Molly O'Callaghan, Karen Smith as well. And 500 free, well, we know that her Fernando Schiffer's time was kind of like kind of messed up. So I think Katie Ledecky, as well as Lanza, was messed up. So it was like Ledecky, Titmus, Lee Benji, Dennis Rapsis, Lenny Pallister, Liam Marchand. And then 1000 freestyle, we're going to ignore Scheffer because his time was messed up. Katie Ledecky, Martins, Belmonte, and Wang and Fink. So now we'll go to the mile. And Ledecky, Martins, Fink, Grothine, and Christensen. And then 100 backstroke, Stepanovich, Gretchen Walsh, and Burkhoff. Actually, I think this time might be messed up, so I might have to take a look at that. And then 200 backstroke, reel off, we have Lasco, Murphy, Smith, Nelson, Larkin. No surprises there. 100 breaststroke, we have Lily King leading the way, followed by Shemanovich, Max McHugh, Rudy Militite, Caeleb Dressel, and Schumacher. 200 breaststroke, we have Schumacher leading the way with Douglas, also tied. Well, actually, it was a big tie, right? The 3-way tie with Marchand, Douglas, and Schumacher. And Chickanova, Marco Koch, and then let's go to the 100 fly. Ryan Held actually led the way, which is kind of surprising. Maggie McNeil, Kate Douglas, Clark Grzan, Caeleb Dressel. I might have to take a look at Ryan Health's time. Might be messed up as well. And then 200 fly, we have Belmonte, leading the way, Christoph Milak, Tamara Honda, Reagan Smith, Louise Hansen. And then 200 IM, we have Leon Marchand, not surprising at all, Kate Douglas, Tori Husk, Hugo Gonzalez, and Dustin Lasco. And Alex Walsh is there. And then 400 IM, we have Daiya Seto, McIntosh, Leon Marchand, Ilya Borodin, Yu Hashi, and Mira Belmonte. So those are the points, the total points for each swimmer by event. So now that kind of raises the question of who is the best female swimmer in short course yards and who is the best male swimmer in short course yards. So, I think according to the simulation, I think Kate Douglas is probably the clear cut favorite for as the best short course yard swimmer. And then on the men's side, Caeleb Dressel is the best male short course yard swimmer. And like the stats kind of prove it. And obviously versatility is also a big factor in this. And then they kind of look at the second place swimmers. They have like Shane Cassis on the men's side, and then Leon Marchand on the third place side, or third place overall. You can probably make a case for Leon Marchand as second overall, or even first. Honestly, I don't really care. And on the women's side, you can have like Belmonte, Alex Walsh, Gretchen Walsh, Sarah Sjostrom. You can honestly like mix them all up in the top five, even Reagan Smith as well, Katie Ledecky, and Clark Grzan. So honestly, it's your opinion, but I think according to like the simulation, Kate Douglas and Dressel are the two best male and female short course yard swimmers. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this simulation. I have other ideas that I want to do, based on like who is the best, like whatever, or other like rebuilding ideas for the simulation game. But yeah, other than that, thanks for watching this video and see you guys in the next one.